Welcome to Tent Talks. I'm Missy.
And I'm Mariah. I'm a certified nurse midwife, and I'm a mom of 3 children, 7 and younger.
I'm a mom of 5, pregnant with my 6th. And we came together because we're women, just like you, and we saw a need. So we created a platform and a community for women called Beyond the Red Tent.
Right.
And we're taking it one step further.
To TED Talks. So TED Talks is a space where you can come and learn from vetted experts, real women that are willing to share their courageous stories about topics of holistic women's health.
And so you're here. We understand life is full. You're a busy woman. So this is only going to be about 30 minutes of a beautiful talk with either an expert or a real woman like yourself. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, Beyond the Red Tent community. Mariah Brown here today with Missy and Kathleen Pagnini. I'm so excited to go over today's topic because we get to talk about our pelvic floor and what is that, right? All the women out there that might have experienced any incontinence, any pelvic pain, any constipation, any changes in your posture, your abdomen, women who have had babies and felt like, whoa, my body's changed a bunch afterwards. Oh my gosh, it includes everything, right? It's all that women's health related stuff. We have Kathleen Pagnini here, who is our lovely expert. She sometimes comes to you from the Italian Riviera. She sometimes comes to you from the mainland United States. And as a midwife, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, both for my own personal body, as well as the women that I serve. So I am so excited. We get to hear some of her top tips, and we get to talk a little bit more around the course that she's developed for the Beyond the Red Tent community and beyond, for all those women that are really looking to create more vitality and address anti-aging, youth engaging within our women bodies. So Kathleen, hi.
Hi, buongiorno, ciao.
It's so fun to have you on.
Likewise, it's nice to be
And
here.
I love this course because it has a catchy name called the Vagina Academy. And I actually took it last time that we ran this course, and I got to do the live calls with Kathleen, and now they're all recorded and in there, so you get to go at your own pace, which is really cool. But you know what? It's not just about your pelvic floor. It's about so much more. So we're going to give you 5 tips from Kathleen. And these are for everybody, but really Kathleen's focus and passion is for the women who are maybe a little bit, older like me, over 40. We age, right? We go through perimenopause and menopause, and things change and things shift. And Kathleen's information and knowledge is so vast and so helpful for the women in that demographic. So let's just start with your first tip, Kathleen. You're going to tell us how to realize and release unrealized body tension and stress in our bodies.
Excellent. That's an excellent question. I love that. First place to start's great. We all know that stress causes a lot of stuff, right? But what we don't know is that we hold our bodies in a lot of tension. And that is due to maybe being told at a young age to stand up straight or put your shoulders back or
Suck your stomach in.
Yeah, suck it in. So essentially, we're walking around like sucked, squeezing because we're feeling like we're falling all out, especially after we have kids, and we're holding our shoulders back and we're sucking and squeezing. So we're walking around with all this tension that we may not even know that we have until it's brought to your attention. So that's number one, is to realize when you are in this mode, this tensed up mode with whatever's going on with your body, so you can then release it and then allow the other part of your anatomy to take over and be your foundation instead of pulling, sucking, squeezing, and churning.
You know, it's interesting. I went through 2 rounds of pelvic floor PT after giving birth for different reasons. And I always thought, you know, you learn about Kegels, like, oh, I'm supposed to tighten. Oh, I'm supposed to tighten. But really, I feel like every pelvic floor specialist that I talk to, the message I keep hearing is we actually need to learn how to relax and release the tension. I've also heard you talk about the inner corset. And I know your tip number 2 is put on up your inner corset. What is that exactly?
Oh, putting on your corset.
Ah, okay.
So
What is that?
Well, your corset, your internal corset. So we have 2 cores. We have an internal core and an outside core. And the one that most people are aware of is their outer core. We call that the coat. So you have an internal core or corset, and then you can put on many coats, and you do that by voluntary action, by your sit-ups, your planks, going to the gym, weightlifting, Pilates. All of this is making a certain coat muscle. So your corset has to be intact before you start putting all these different coats on, because you can have many coats, but you only have one corset. And to put it on, you have to release this body tension.
So interesting, because I was just going to say, what do we have to do to put on our inner corset? And you're just saying less, relax.
Less. And, you know, it's just counterintuitive, because we've been told for so long. And, you know, Mariah, that you've been hearing this, everybody's moving more towards the less is more, you know. We've been told to go to the gym if we want a tighter booty, or if you want a 6-pack abs, do sit-ups and you know, we've been told all these things for so long. And so it's changed us on many levels, besides the shoes we wear and the food we eat and how we're moving is actually moving our corset out of whack. It's because if you think about it, your corset is this area, and this is the area that we work on, is just below the boobs, at the ribs, and to the hip bone, because this is the area that a corset would cover. And basically what a corset does is it organizes your body in a certain way and stabilizes it's your true stabilizer, your inner corset, not the pulling in the navel and the squeezing the butt. So when we do that, we can't even put our corset on to even have it activated. So we have to release the tension. And the way we do that, and to help women understand where they hold their tension, is I basically have everyone, if you want to do this with me, you're going to pull your stomach in, squeeze your butt, tense your arms and your face, and just tense and tense and tense.
Oh, where'd your sound go?
She all of a sudden, oh, there, she muted herself. Can you unmute her, Missy? I love
there you go. You're back. You're back.
I was really tense. I was so tense. Really I muted you. Oh.
So yeah, and so now, and then let it go and release. Okay, so now pull your stomach in as tight as you can. And then now just let it go. Let it just go. It's a little bit difficult to just allow your belly to go, because we've been holding this part for so long in. So for a lot of women, I start there. They don't even know that they're clenching their butt or pulling their navel in until they try to do something. And then I bring it to their attention. They go, wow, I didn't even know that. Not until you understand what that relaxation feels like.
And it sounds like you really go into this in detail in your course to really give women practical, in their body sensations as well as exercises.
Well, absolutely. This is a part of our anatomy that we already have within us, that we have inside of us, and it's just sleeping. So it's got sensory motor amnesia, and it sleeps, this inner corset, is supposed to pre-activate prior to any movement. So what happens when it turns off, it goes to sleep when we have an injury, we have a baby. Correctly.
There you go. For some reason, your volume is muting and then unmuting. So I know that tip 3, you talked a little bit about sailing. I think being out on a sailboat. What does a sailboat have to do with my pelvic floor and my corset and my body?
All right. Well, if you look, and let me know if I'm muting out, because I think it's something that has to do with storage on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Because if you look at the body and your pelvic floor muscles, there's 3 layers of them. That's why Kegels don't quite cut it, because there's 2 stronger layers that are supposed to keep your organs elevated, right? So, when in the book 7 Secrets, this sexy silhouette, all of this is explained a little bit more. So the rigging, what we call, if you have a really tight pelvic floor muscle, say you're doing Kegels all the time, or you're holding your butt clenched in a clenched position, your Kegel muscle is getting tighter and tighter and tighter without you even knowing it, just by clenching your butt all the time. And many women stand in this clenched butt position. So what that does, it pulls on the rest of, say, your spine and your bony, your arms, and these are your sails. So if your pelvic floor muscles and your inner corset is not working properly, everything will start to slacken. Or if the Kegel muscle is so tight, it'll literally be pulling you in one direction or the other, because your pelvic floor muscles, what most people don't know, the pelvic floor is the bottom of your inner core. So there's no core without the floor. There are 3 muscles there, not just the Kegel. In fact, the Kegel muscle is not even meant to hold back your pee. It's not meant to hold back your leaking. It's there for sexuality. That's where all your nerves are, 98% of your nerves. It's meant for toileting, to be able to turn off and on the flow. So the Kegel muscle, it's overworked. And so this is where we're going into the 3 layers of the pelvic floor. And that's what everyone's realizing, that they're not able to access the innermost layers unless you turn off. You got to take your coat off to put your underwear on, right? So what we're doing in this course, it's literally a relaxation course. We're literally taking our clothes off and putting our underwear back on instead of on top of our clothes. Because a lot of women are walking around with their corset on the outside. They keep having to get a bigger coat. Bigger coat. And the corset is on the outside, so we need to stop. I mean, if you're having these problems, if you're happy and you love going to the gym, you love working out and all that, and it makes you happy all day, while you're doing it, then that's not a problem. But if you have back pain, if you have bunions, if you're leaking, if you have pelvic pain, if you have dry stacks, if you have any of these things, they're all indicative of an inner corset not pre-activating. And the pre-activation is crucial. Is so crucial to your health that we're not pre-activating. We're out there busting through every exercise and going through 90 miles an hour, and that's not pre-activation. So we literally have to go back to being a baby. So that's what the rigging, that's the long explanation of the pelvic floor muscles, are like the rigging on a boat. So you want them to be working nicely from the innermost and strongest layer to the outside. That's how it works, from the inside to the outside. So when we activate the innermost layer, not by doing a Kegel, it pulls all the other layers up for the ride in the right amount at the same time. The corset activates simultaneously all together. And its main job is to straighten the spine so the baby can have head control. The baby wants to see. That's how the inner corset develops. So as the baby, and there's pressure buttons and all of this you learn, and we go over these pressure buttons on our bodies. That's all the baby had to activate their inner corset until they started to see and want to get up. And then all of this was how the inner corset formed, because at that point, the diaphragm dropped down, the TA muscles, which is part of the inner corset, and then you have some fascia in the back. All of this comes together a split second, all at once, prior to movement, before you sneeze, before you have an orgasm. So nothing falls and nothing pooches.
Mm-hmm. And I have to share a quick little story from the last call in our class that we did when I went through the Vagina Academy. And so Kathleen talks a lot about have better sex. A lot of women find as they're going through perimenopause and menopause that they aren't able to reach orgasm in the same way. And there was a woman in the class, I'm not going to name any names, but she had not had an orgasm in a very, very, very long time. And one of her big wins that she came to at the last class was, she was like, you guys, I had an orgasm. And, you know, it's really interesting because at first you feel like, am I doing anything? Is this even working? And you really are reprogramming your brain in addition to the way that you move your body. So it's super fascinating stuff. It's a 6-week course. Those were 3 tips that Kathleen gave us. We're going to hear 2 more in the next segment of this video because we like to keep them short and sweet for you so that you can have time to watch. But look in the description of the video. There is a 10% off coupon code if you sign up before January 15th for the Vagina Academy. And there's also a link for Kathleen's book, 7 Secrets to a Sexy Silhouette. And that goes through the basic exercises. And there will be a live call on January 15th to kick the course off. So that's where Kathleen will sit down with you, talk about your intentions, what's going on, why did you sign up for the course, and help lead you through the next 6 weeks. And she is amazing and always in contact with her students. So it's a really close connection with Kathleen as you're going through this. And it's pretty fun because she is a really, really fun lady to hang out with. So Kathleen.
I can't wait to take the course too, because I saw, even with there was something about tension and balancing hormones. Like, wait, there's so much more. I can't wait to take the course, Kathleen.
I can't wait to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathleen, for being with us. And we will see you guys in part 2, where we're going to go over our next 2 tips with Kathleen for hormone balancing, anti-aging, feeling a little bit more like yourself and maybe sexy again in your body, which I love that Kathleen isn't shy about talking about that part of us because it is so important. So
sounds like
right.
Better orgasms too.
Better orgasms. We'll see you soon.
Don't forget to subscribe.
And if you also want to take a peek at our website, it's right here.